Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. Today we're going to be taking a look at Batman Under the Red Hood. Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. I'm your host, Brent, and today we're going to be doing an overview of Batman Under the Red Hood. We're going to be looking at this collection. This is the newest printing, as you can tell by the new logo, but this has been printed before under different logos, but this is the entire story. It was originally collected, I think, as 2 different volumes. There's kind of 12 issues in here, a little more, because it does include Batman Annual 25. But this is the entire story of the Red Hood, which was written by Judd Winick. A lot of the art is done by Doug Mahnke, and you have appearances by Shane Davis. He does, I think, 2 or 3 issues in here. You have Eric Battle, who wraps up the last 2 issues, and then Paul Lee, who does I think 1 or 2 of the issues in the middle. But this is really what kicked it off. So I remember this was coming out when I was in college, maybe like a freshman or sophomore in college years ago, and it was just this idea, like this cover of Batman, I think it was the first issue, something like that, where they set this up, Batman facing off with the Red Hood, and you have these beautiful painted covers by Matt Wagner throughout, I think, the first arc, and then as you get into the second one, you get into these other covers. Did Jock do them or something like that? Yeah, that's Batman number 650. Who else is doing them? Yep, another Jock cover. So you got Jock doing covers for the second arc, and they're beautiful as well. Completely different art styles, but beautiful nonetheless. And some of these have to do with what's in the book. Some of them are classic, like this is just a classic Batman jumping between rooftops cover. It doesn't really have anything to do with what's inside, whereas the Matt Wagner covers really do have to do with what's inside. And the best cover in here, which I'm kind of ashamed that they didn't put it in the front, is this one where Batman and Jason Todd are like facing off with each other, trying to figure out who the other one is. It's like this is a variant cover of the cover that I'm talking about. This is also Matt Wagner. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But yeah, Red Hood was this character, and then you found out that it's Jason Todd, another character coming back to life. This is one of the Paul Lee issues. Beautiful Matt Wagner cover. I think Trinity was coming out at the same time, so he was kind of doing these covers maybe as a promotion as well. And I have a whole video on that storyline. I think I have 2 videos. Here's the cover I'm talking about. This reveal cover where it's Batman. He's got this great expression. He's holding the Red Hood kind of helmet here. But anyway, so there's a little bit of a mystery here about who the Red Hood is. I mean, obviously now we know it's Jason Todd, this 10 years on. But you have this wonderful story, very fun story by Judd Winick. You have Nightwing in here in the first arc a lot, which is really fun to see Batman playing around with Nightwing. This is Doug Mahnke when he was a little more cleaned up. Now his style is really, really wild and crazy and a lot, I guess I would call it scratchier. Whereas this is kind of him going in that direction. Like if you had seen him on Justice League a few years prior, or JLA, what the book was called at the time, they had a lot of bolder inks, and maybe that's the difference between the inker as well. But Doug Mahnke does like to ink his stuff. So this is inks by Tom Wynn right here. But I mean, you always got to go by what the penciler gives you. So now I think Doug Mahnke does a lot of his own inks, I believe. So maybe that's why. Maybe Tom Wynn or these inkers that he had at the time were cleaning them up. Here's Mr. Freeze. Black Mask is in here a whole lot. You have this Amazo droid thing going on, and then a big box full of kryptonite. But this is actually my favorite Doug Mahnke style. If Doug Mahnke stayed in this style, I would love it. He did this run. He did Black Adam. There was a 6-issue miniseries he did with that after 52, which was phenomenal. And nowadays he's a little too like hyper detailed, over detailed, a little too scratchy, at least for my taste. Because I read this story and I love this story so much that to see his art evolve is cool. But I think this is the classic Doug Mahnke. Like his JLA stuff years before this was a lot heavier inks. Maybe it was the different inker, maybe it was his style. He did Action Comics 70-75, or was that Whatever Happened to Truth, Justice, the American Way? I can't remember. But that's the Joe Kelly issue that introduced the Elite. I think he also did some issues of JLA Elite at the time when they formed a new team. But anyway, this is not his big coming out party. He'd been an artist for a long time. But since this story is so well loved, this is kind of the story that made people stand up and notice and say, oh yeah, Doug Mahnke, he's a good guy. But again, Doug Mahnke is one of those artists that never really, he has some great runs, he has great art, and his style has evolved, but he never really graduated to like a superstar artist in the way that Steve McNiven did a bunch of events or anything like that. He's just kind of, he likes to draw, and that's cool. Most recently, he's done some stuff with death metal. He did a run on Detective Comics with who's the editor turned writer? I can't remember. Peter Tomasi. He did Green Lantern with Jeff Johns as well. Kind of flip-flopping issues with that, and I think he launched the Green Lantern title, a New 52 version. But he's a great artist. But like I said, just kind of, keeping away, just not really knocking over any, never really launched into superstardom. So this artist here is the first time I ever saw Shane Davis. Shane Davis is a phenomenal artist. I think he got into that Comicsgate stuff. So I think he's kind of been taken off the board as far as his career in terms of mainstream comics, which is unfortunate because his art is phenomenal. He did this issue, and kind of, I think from there they said, okay, we want you to do more things. He did the annual that's at the back of this book, and then he did Superman Year 1, I think volumes 1 and 2, which I have. He did a signing at the a comic shop down here in Orlando, and I got those signed by him. But what he's doing now, I have no idea. Sometimes people gotta keep your politics to yourself. Read the room. Read the room. It's not cool sometimes. Is it fair to lose your job for politics? Probably not. You do have a right to say anything you want to say, but you don't have a right to have people like it and like you for saying it. Let me put it that way. But anyway, this is Shane Davis. He does, I think, 2 issues in here, in maybe the main story. Maybe it's just 1. And then he does this annual at the back where it kind of explains what happened to Jason Todd after he dies. This is the annual number 25, The Return of Jason Todd. It's got a great cover here. Let's flip to it. Yeah, this beautiful cover by Jock. Beautiful cover. Kind of like, the Pietà with Mary holding Jesus. Same idea here. Beautiful cover. Love it. It's after Jim Aparo as well, so it's also homaging at the same time the image from Batman, the issue where Jason Todd died. So Jason Todd coming back to life does have some weird stuff with this guy, Superboy Prime, punching a hole in the multiverse wall, and that somehow brings Jason Todd back to life and screaming like he was actually dead. He was a skeleton. Here you see him like kind of undecomposing or recomposing, I think you would call it. So he kind of wakes up as like a brainless zombie. He gets found by Talia al Ghul, taken to the Lazarus pits, and then goes on the hunt for Batman. So what's cool is that Judd Winick found a way to tie in the fake out that we got in Batman Hush. If you remember reading Batman Hush, you thought Hush, this guy in the bandages, was Jason Todd Robin for about an issue, until it was later revealed that it was a fake out. Well, they retconned that fake out. They said it was like Clayface, I think, at the time. And this issue number 25 retconned that fake out to say it was Jason Todd for a split second, and then it became Clayface a little later. And Jason Todd escaped. Yeah, here's Clayface. Like, they switch for a second. He goes and gets mad, and then decides he's going to go get and become the Red Hood. So you can also read Red Hood Lost Days. It kind of fills in this annual. It's the same story basically, but a little more detailed. It's the same story told over 6 issues. It's also Judd Winick writing with a different artist. What's also cool about this trade, though, is that they give you those pages from Batman Hush here, the first encounter from Batman 618. This is the story by Jeff Loeb and art by Jim Lee and Scott Williams on inks, Alex Sinclair on colors. This is a classic story. I have this in absolute format. If you haven't read Batman Hush, it's okay. It's better for the art than it is the story, I think, at this point. But they just collect these couple of pages that, Batman number 25 replicated. So if you've never read Hush and you read these pages, you're going to go, what the hell is going on? Because you have all this narration stuff that, Batman's trying to solve this mystery, and you're just reading it for Jason Todd going, that's Jason Todd, in this little bit of a fight. And then, do they get to the part where he's Clayface? Can't remember. Yeah, he kind of melts away in the story. And then it's like, oh, that was Clayface. And you're like, what? So yeah, so it kind of fills all that in. But yeah, this is how Jason Todd came back to life and re-entered Batman's life as an antagonist. And as much as I love this story, the one thing I hate about it, and I don't mean to rag on an artist, but the one thing I do hate about it is that this kind of collided with Infinite Crisis, and I don't know whose schedule got squished where, but they made an art change in the final 2 issues of this to an artist named Eric Battle, and I had never seen his work before, but the previous issue was done by Doug Mahnke, and it was a fantastic climactic issue. You have Red Hood facing off with Black Mask, Batman's involved, of course, and the Joker, and then you get the next issue, this wonderful cover by Jock, and then you open it up, and here's this artist, Eric Battle, who's doing a fill-in, and I don't mind fill-ins because there are other fill-ins in this book. But if you look at Paul Lee and you look at Shane Davis and then you look at Eric Battle, at least at the time, their art styles are kind of wildly different. And this art style is like Paul Lee, Shane Davis fit in smoothly, I think, with Doug Mahnke. But, his proportions are good. I think he was a little too much for my taste at the time. And it really turned me off. Like, he's really more of a maybe an anime styled artist. Sometimes, like, his expressions are really big. Really reminds me of like Joe Madiera. But I was not a fan of these 2 issues just because of the art. The story is like reaching this fever pitch, and for me, at the time when I first read it, and I've reread it since then, to pull the rug out from the reader like that, and to have these 2 fill-in issues that are the climax of the story. This setup between Robin, Jason Todd, Red Hood, Joker, Black Mask, all the climax stuff is here in these last 2 issues. Batman 649 and 650, Eric Battle does. And I commend him. He probably came in, and I don't know if he did these on a tight squeeze timeline, but like, just look at this Joker down here. It's just, I don't know. There was something off about it where it felt rushed. Like, look at this expression on Batman's face. I'm sorry. To me, that is wonky. I was not a fan. I'm still not a fan of these 2 issues. I have not seen any other artwork from Eric Battle that I can recall. Otherwise, I might have a different opinion. But, like, just look at this ear stuff. It's inconsistent and different from what we had with Doug Mahnke, Look at Batman's ears there. It's like, they don't grow. Come on, dude. It's not Michael Turner Batman. So that finale, these last 2 issues, just took a lot of, took the, wind out of my sails in terms of the story every time I read it, because it's such a change and just such a turnoff. Really made me appreciate the animated movie, which we can talk about now. This came out also while I was in college, I believe. This is Batman Under the Red Hood. So originally this story was called something else. Then they came out with the animated movie, and they called it Under the Red Hood. And now all these collections are called Under the Red Hood. I think it was called, yeah, Under the Hood Part 1. What was the second part called? It also had a different title. All I Do Is Watch Us Kill. That wasn't the title of that collection. Who knows? Anyway, basically the DVD movie is well worth your time as well. If you enjoyed this, this is also good. The voice work is great. You got Bruce Greenwood in here as Batman. You have Neil Patrick Harris as Nightwing. He's in here. Black Mask is in here. You have the guy from Supernatural as Red Hood. And if you like this as well, there's also that more recent Batman Death in the Family animated movie that kind of takes this and goes in different directions to see what happened, what could have happened to Jason Todd had he not gone out the way he did. So it's kind of a follow-up to that. So this Red Hood idea has made a lot of money for DC, and that's why Red Hood has his own comic series, because people love this idea. I like the idea too, but I like this costume. I don't like what he's got now. I like the motorcycle jacket, the metal helmet, and calling it a day. That's what I like the best about Red Hood. This design, so simple. Pants, shirt, motorcycle jacket, helmet. Like, he's just a dude. Love this design. It's so cool. All the stuff where they have the bat symbol on his chest is kind of meh, okay to me. But his original appearance, just a guy with a helmet, to me, I think is the best version of the Red Hood. Because, like, he can disappear in an alley and take his helmet off and you never know he was there. That's the coolest part about him. So, Batman, Under the Red Hood. Go check it out. I've talked about it long enough. I think it's well worth your time. This is the collection. Here's a spine. Big, thick book. But it's cool that they have the annual one here and then have that little bit of Hush as well. So I think that's really cool. It's really going to give you a nice picture of what happened to Red Hood. And then from there, you can go read, oh gosh, what's it called? The Red Hood book, Lost Days. You can go check out the animated movies. There's lots of things to enjoy if you really liked Red Hood. I think the best thing about this animated movie is that the screenplay was done by Judd Winick as well. So he adapted his own tale shortly after this was all wrapped up. But going back to the finale of the movie, there's no art change in the movie for the finale. So it is impactful for sure in that movie. So it doesn't throw you for more. So once I watched the movie, I really appreciated the finale of the book because they're almost one and the same more than I did when I read the issues because the art change threw me off so bad. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this video about Under the Red Hood. We will see you guys next time in the funny pages. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. All that stuff helps the channel grow. And thanks for watching.